How's it going, everyone? This is Dixon of the Ultimate Gamer logging on, and welcome to the Radiocam show. This episode, I'm going to be talking about why I'm discontinuing collecting retro game consoles. Well, the old hardware, that is. One, they've been sitting on the shelves for too long. Especially if I'm playing retro games these days, I usually play them off either the clones or the emulators. And the clone consoles have been improving these days, even the emulation ones. But why am I not collecting the old hardware anymore? Well, the majority of the retro game consoles that are popular, like the Nintendo, Super Nintendo, and Sega Genesis, I no longer have any use for the old hardware, since I can play all the cartridges off the clones, like the Radiocam 5, or I can play the games off the emulator, or there's compilations of some of the games, or if you're playing Nintendo games, play Switch Online. And I do actually have more faith in retro gaming clones these days, because they have been improving within the years. I've been pretty satisfied with it. Plus, the old hardware will die out eventually, and my old consoles have been seeing its age. Some parts are not really working like it should anymore. Some things I gotta tamper with. For instance, like my Sega Genesis 1 and 2 modules with both my Sega CD modules 1 and 2. Well, the Model 2 has the 32X as well too. It's pretty much a hassle hooking it all up, especially when you have three big ass adapters. Even though they actually have a little converter these days they invented for just to make it all one adapter for the console and two add-ons, is still a pain. However, both my console's been seeing its age, and I wanted to get rid of them. Well, I actually hate to see them go, but it is what it is. But however, I'm not getting rid of any of the games though, because they can work on future systems or on the PC. Well, the CD-ROM games can work on the PC through the emulation, through their emulators. However, there are plenty of ways of playing the retro games. Now, majority of the clones in the past have been focused on console-based, like NES and SNES and Genesis. And of course, the clone consoles had its shaky start moments, but throughout the years, it's been improving. Even the emulation ones have, like the Radiocam 5 I have downstairs, that can play majority of console-based games. I mean, majority of the cartridge-based games, except there's no Atari games. I do have the Radiocam 77 for the Atari 2600 games. However, when I ever get a chance, I do collect the retro minis that come out within the last 5 years. It's pretty cool to have in the collection. And now, when it comes to CD-ROM consoles, they actually have the Polymega, which is a video game clone emulation console. Yes, another emulation console. The base of it is a CD-ROM, which plays PlayStation 1 games, Sega Saturn games, Sega CD games, Sega CD32X games, Turbo CD, and Neo Geo CD games. So far, the downside is it doesn't play any of the 3DO games or the Jaguar games or CDI games, any of the obscure ones. I mean, I would like to have them work on getting the licensing for the obscure CD-ROM based games. Hopefully, they'll update that in the future. What's cool about the Polymega is they actually have the cartridge input modules to put on the Polymega, which is pretty smooth. And now they're working on the N64 one, which is really cool. And they're working on a light gun game peripheral where you can play light gun games, which is pretty smooth. And so far, I took a look at the Polymega. It looks pretty smooth. I plan on getting one of those. And if I do get one of those, I'll do my take on it, definitely. Another reason why I'm getting rid of the old consoles is because I don't want to deal with hooking up the old cables to a new TV, like RCA or the RF or shit like that, or getting old TVs to hook all that crap up. To me, that's kind of junk these days. I mean, I'm not trying to disrespect the retrospective, but I don't have any use for the old hardware that I don't really need. And besides, I'm trying to work on moving out too, so I don't want to carry all that with me. I'm also working on a different part in life as well too, besides gaming, outside of gaming, and I don't need too much of that in my way. And when it comes to retro game consoles, The only ones I'm going to keep are the obscure ones like the Atari Jaguar and the 3DO, since the emulation hasn't exactly improved for all of them yet. Hopefully they will. And I'm surprised that Polymega actually got the Sega Saturn to work, because the emulation on that was hard to crack. Hopefully more of the other ones, like the original Xbox, will be available to crack eventually too. But we'll see. But anyway, I think I'm running out of options. All I gotta say is I'm no longer collecting retro game hardware anymore, but I still do collect the games itself. And I'm not getting rid of any of the games, just the hardware that I no longer need. Thank you all very much for watching. This is Dixon of the Ultimate Gamer. I'm logging off. Peace.